When God created the world, everything was good, including the people he made. They were made to be like him, to reflect his glory into all of creation. Their relationship together and with creation were to be a reflection of the perfect unity and community they had with their Creator. This is how we were meant to live, but it's not the world we live in, is it? Our relationships with God, the world, and one another are marked by conflict rather than unity, rebellion instead of fellowship. We reject God's good commands on a daily basis. We make a mockery of the one in whose image we are made. We war against one another in our homes, communities, and nations. And even as we war against one another, the world wars against us, fighting against our attempts to cultivate and shape it. But how did we get here? What happened that made this world the way it is? One act of defiance, one decision that set off a chain reaction that reverberates throughout all time. The decision to believe a lie. A lie told to us by an enemy who pretended to be a friend, who took the form of a serpent and slithered deception into our hearts. A lie that we still believe, one that taints and twists our every thought, word, and deed. A lie about God, that God is not good. When the serpent, Satan, convinced the first man and woman to believe this lie, when they no longer believed that God was good, they ate the fruit of the forbidden tree. They were cast out of the presence of God, cursed and condemned to die. When they had 2 sons, their sin spread, and the elder killed the younger and became the world's first murderer. As their family grew, so too did the presence of evil, filling the whole earth and the hearts of all who inhabited it. And God cleansed the world in a deluge of water, killing all who walked on its surface. When humanity united to build a monument to their rebellion, God confused their languages so they could never again rise up in collective defiance of their Creator. Today, we believe God is withholding something good from us. If we acknowledge His existence at all, it's only to curse His name, to blame Him for all the ills of the world. We believe a lie, that God is not good. We believe joy comes from unhindered freedom, the ability to do what we want, when we want, how we want. But instead, we only find sorrow. We are broken people who deceive ourselves into believing that breaking ourselves will make us whole. We're blind to the truth because we don't know the whole story. The story that God has been telling since before the world began. The first chapters of the Bible are filled with stories of pain, sadness, and death. But we cannot dismiss them as a story of hopelessness, because although they are filled with sorrow, they are a story of hope, a promise of good news to come. The promise that counters the lie of the serpent and proves that God really is good. When the first humans rebelled against their Creator and faced certain death, God gave them mercy. He clothed them. He covered their shame and gave them a promise of rescue and reconciliation. When their eldest son murdered his brother, God gave them hope that the promise wasn't over by providing another son, one whose family walked faithfully for a time. Before God sent the floodwaters, one man found favor in His sight and was commanded to build an ark to spare the human race from total destruction. And even as He confused humanity's languages, He was still showing grace. Because out of these people, He would call a man named Abram. And through him, he would bring forth another family, an imperfect family that would grow into a great nation and act as a light to all other nations. Out of this nation, another family would emerge. Through that family, the story of God's promised rescue would find its fulfillment, and all the people of the world would see the goodness of their Creator.